This is 5 Minutes to Change Your Life. My name is Joanne Mallon. I'm an author and coach. I love helping people make wee changes that make a massive difference in their lives. Give me 5 minutes of your time today. Just might change your life. Hey, hello, what about you? Hello to long-time listeners, medium-term listeners, and all you new people too, because there's been loads of new listeners in the last week. And as ever, I'm not entirely sure why. I'm pleased, but I'm mystified as to where you're coming from. Did somebody mention it? I don't know what's going on. Thank you for coming to play anyway. And do let me know how you found out about the podcast in the first place. I'd love to know. So I've been busy recently. I spoke at an event and my session was early in the day. So I honestly wasn't expecting there to be too many people there. Anyway, turned out there were hundreds of people there. It was standing room only. And I do enjoy talking to people like that, but I also do tend to get quite nervous beforehand. And usually in the first couple of minutes of public speaking, I genuinely do feel like I'm going to die. You know, my heart starts going like the clappers, get a dry mouth, often a wee bit of shaking, feel twitchy like you're going to run away. Just your classic panic symptoms. And there is a very clear evolutionary origin to this kind of fear of public speaking. If you go all the way back to the beginning of civilization, okay, when we were all cave people, we needed to live in groups to survive. So if you were rejected from the group, if you were cast outside for any reason, then it was probably curtains for you, because that meant that you wouldn't be protected and you'd have less access to food. So for prehistoric people, social exclusion, being judged and then rejected from the group, that carried with it a very real risk of death. So, because of this, our brains developed to treat social threats as being pretty much the same as physical threats, because they could both kill you. And so, just as our brains use the fight or flight response to help us get away from the physical threat of predators, that same fight or flight response kicks in when your brain thinks that you're at risk of social exclusion. So when you're standing in front of a room full of people to speak to them, they're all looking at you and you're apart from the group. On a very deep level, your brain sees this as a threat. It sees it as social rejection. And so fight or flight mode kicks in and you start to get that racing heart, adrenaline rush, and the impulse to run away. Our brains developed over many millions of years, so they just haven't caught up with the modern world yet. They try and protect us from ancient dangers that no longer apply. And this is why fear of public speaking is so incredibly common. Your brain is trying to keep you safe at all times, but it will often perceive a threat that's not actually there. Because if you think about how much the world has changed in the last 40, 50 years, that's nothing in evolutionary terms. A big part of your brain is still working on caveman logic. So, what can we do if we start to feel anxious, if that fight or flight response kicks in? We have to keep reminding our brains that we are, in fact, safe. Now, there are other things you can do as well that will help. I'm going to talk about some of those next time, but this is the number one. Keep reminding your caveman brain that you are safe. And you do this just by saying it to yourself. Say, I am safe. Say it out loud. Say it silently in your mind. I am safe. Now, it's important not to wait until you feel anxious or stressed. You can do it then, but really, for the big power, you want to be doing it all the time. Just do it when you're walking about, and particularly before you go into any situation that you think might make you feel a wee bit anxious. Tell yourself, I'm safe. I'm still safe. Or you could also write it down. That's a really powerful way to approach it. This is something I've been doing when I'm journaling, started journaling most days. And when you journal, you write down just whatever's floating through your mind, whatever you're processing. And then usually for the last line of my daily journal entry, I've started to add, oh, and by the way, I'm safe. And I'll write it in all capitals. I am safe. Just keep giving your brain that message so it gets the message that you're safe. And then it's less likely to feel the need to trigger that stress response and kick into fight or flight mode. The stress response is all about your brain thinking that it is under threat. So you just tell it that it's not. It's that simple. So I've been doing this for a while, just really, really hammering home the I am safe message to myself and thinking about how massively safe I am all the time. So then when I had to get up at this event and speak in front of a packed room of people, that was a big, big test to see if it had made any difference. And you know what? It really did. Went really well, the whole thing. I enjoyed the experience of public speaking, and I did not feel like I was going to die at any point in the process. There was no fight or flight. There was no panic. Well, maybe a wee bit, but it certainly was way better than anything I'd experienced before. So try it out. Just keep reminding yourself that you're safe. It's okay. You will be safe. You're safe today. You'll be safe tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon.